Good evening from here in Dubai and welcome to today's edition of Supply Chain Talks. My name's Sam Champong and I'm the Regional Director for SIPS MENA. Today's session is all about automation and particularly how robots have become the norm in warehouse operations. To discuss this subject, I've got a couple of great guests who will add their perspective and their opinions to the subject. And I also invite you, the audience, to ask any questions that you have as we go along. And I'll put those questions to the panel. So if you do have any questions or comments, please submit them via the Q&A or chat section on your screen, and I'll pick them up. So to start off, I'd like to introduce our first guest. Wala Maha is the head of supply chain and logistics at RAK Ceramics, which is based in the UAE and is the largest ceramic tiles company in the world. He has several years' experience in senior procurement and supply chain roles for organizations such as Kimberly-Clark and Procter & Gamble. Wala is also the co-author of the Entrepreneurial Supply Chain and Logistics Architect Guidebook. Wala, welcome to the session.
So thanks, Sam. Thanks for the nice intro. Okay. Sometimes I just turn red. Okay, from what the people are saying.
No need to turn red. I think I checked everything I said, and it's all correct, so no problem at all. But no, welcome to the session. Thanks for taking the time. And look, let's get straight into it, Wala, because I'd like to hear your views on the article that we recently looked at from the Financial Times, and that was talking about robotics and automation in warehouses. And one of the things that article stated was that labor shortages and the complexity of e-commerce has accelerated the take-up of automation since the pandemic. Is this something that you've seen as well, and what's your view on this trend?
Okay, so first, the article is well written, and the people that is putting the inputs in the article is some of the tech savvies and the professional in the industry. Yeah, so it is not like I'm lashing on them or saying that they are wrong. It is just that the world have 8 billion person, and the world is different across every place. What you can apply for UK, you cannot apply for France. What you can apply for US does not apply to the European Union. And what is applied for the European Union does not apply for the countries that is not in the European Union. So like the labor issue, the driver issue that you see right now in UK, okay, this was because of some political decision that ended up like this, but it was, I would say, calculated risk. For the whole idea of robotics and automation, I can tell you several perspectives across the globe, not first in Middle East. Number one is, once you say automation and robotics, the first thing that will come to finance people, saving, but does it justify the return on investment or not? For business owners, it is according to the different business owner model. There are business owners who are just investors. He want to put some money here, 5 years maximum in the business, and will run away by his money to another business. It is like playing in the stock market or playing in the cryptocurrency. He's not interested in the future of this company. He's interested to juice it to the maximum. Okay. While some investors are opening this factory, opening this industry, he wanted to be inherited to his son, to his grandsons, and to be a family business. So he's totally interested to grow the business and to put whatever will sustain it for his grandchildren. Okay. So this is from the perspective of money. From the perspective of tech savvies and the companies that is selling the tech, this is the future. This is where to go. Imagine if the people have stopped Steve Jobs to make the touch phone. Okay. By the way, HP had the first touch phone. Nokia had the touch phone with a stylus. Before Steve Jobs by years, Star Trek had tablets and the touch phone maybe 20 years before the first touch phone comes in. The ideas are always there. It is always there, but where and how to apply it. Then, once you say automation and robotics, you will find unions, labor laws, activists. Yes, you are putting our people at homes. This is your new way to keep us not getting paid. You will make unemployment. You will make. So somehow, this is a sensitive topic at all levels. If I will say tomorrow, let's automate my warehouse, I was blessed to work for years with P&G, then Kimberly Clark. Then I've made consultations for companies in Middle East and Africa. Then I moved to total different industry, which is building material. So let's call me a perfect Mercedes driver. Then, oops, you are putting me on a truck that is 20 years old. Guys, where's the GPS in this truck? Nothing. Because the building material by design, since my grandfathers have built the pyramids, okay, building is building. Get the stones, put it here, get the building erected, okay. But if you look at it, there is automation. How the cement now goes to the upper level. Previously, it was carried on the shoulders. Now the cement goes by tubes. This, by design, is automation. It is not robotic, but it is automation. Self-driving cars. Last session we had with Supply Chain Talk, we were talking about the blockchain and the idea behind some of the projects in the blockchain. One of them is the self-driving cars, self-driving forklifts, self-driving trucks. If you move around, you are located in Dubai, and for the people around the world who's listening to us, if you go to Jabal Ali port, there are 2 yards from total 3 yards. One of the biggest ports in the world is operated with 0 people in it. The only human beings are the truck drivers. Done. Khalas. Everything is automated. I'm total pro. There is a project, if the people listening to us would like to look at it, it is called the Box Bay, where the containers will be put in racks exactly like the warehouse, but warehouse for containers. So instead of putting right now across all the ports only 6 containers, they can take up to 20 level. But you cannot have a human being operated this because mistakes will happen. The whole idea behind it in Expo 2020, you can see it as well in the DP World session. But the showbox, the reality is on the ground. It is already there. Okay, it is on its trial phase. That the vessel will come, container will be taken off, it will go directly to the warehouse, total 0 touch. Then even it is generating its own electricity. The container that goes down generate electricity for the other container to be pushed up. Then the car will come exactly in its place and be taken. But it needs DP World to spend on it, to feel that, yes, this way we want to go. Not because we want to reduce people, not because we want to make more money. It is more of, does it really need to disturb the life of a driver and a forklift all his mature life to be doing this job, just driving from this place to this place, take the fork? This is really a very tough job. And let's talk the reality. We are white collars. Okay, blue collars does not sleep. He's always on shifts. He's always his time is always interrupted. He cannot go with his kids to the school for at least 1 week because he have the night shift and he's sleeping all day. So yeah, automation and robotics, it is needed, even if sometimes it's needed evil. Okay, back to the article. All the examples that we are looking at is fast-moving consumer goods and Amazon. Of course, there are some other trials, but Amazon is Amazon. Okay, Amazon have been and will be, I believe, the driver for the future in years and years to come. Okay, they just sent Captain Kirk to the space while he's 90 years old. If you tell someone in NASA 20 years back that this will happen, he will just tell you, yeah, guys, stop dreaming. This whole push to technology for Amazon, it is serving their business model. You need other people, other than the fast-moving consumer goods people, other than Amazon, to push to their business model. Right now, what I am doing is pushing to more automation and robotics in the building material. I'm trying to apply what I learned in Kimberly Clark and the P&G from technology standpoint to put it in the building material. Okay. I'm blessed that my leadership is supporting, but at a certain point, really, I get stuck in what is the return of investment? Now, nice dreams, nice tech savvy, all this technology around you, but this is like too much to spend for this. Yes, but it will deliver the future. Let someone else deliver the future. Okay. So we still in Middle East and Africa, we do not have those bodies that will spend for the future. Also, the infrastructure. Last session we had with the supply chain talk, we were talking about we are blessed in Middle East and Africa because many countries does not have the infrastructure. So they made what they called it frog leaps. Okay. We like here in UAE, we didn't need to pass to phones, then dial-up network, then ADSL, then fiber optics, then satellite. We just jumped to fiber optics and satellite. I'm Egyptian. I was born and raised in Egypt, and I remember a phone number, and you hear that and all those sounds coming out. Okay, just to have a connection of wow, 56 kilobyte per second. I have a perfect connection. Okay, those countries does not have this now. All the Africa countries that does not have as well the infrastructure, they have an opportunity to jump. But then we will ask, what about the labor, our social responsibility? The people that are not blessed to be educated, are not blessed to live in better places. Okay, those guys, in reality, I will agree with the labor unions that they will work in what? If you are automating the agriculture, if you are automating the slaughterhouses, the delivery, then those guys will be out of jobs. When they are out of jobs, they will be out of money. And at a certain point, you are creating your tomorrow problem as well. So, total pro robotics and technology, but we need to have the social responsibility in parallel as well. That's all.
I think that's a great perspective, Wala, and I think what you're saying is that the article led on the justification for automation or the driver being labor shortages. But what you're saying is you need to contextualize that to the industry sector and more importantly, the part of the world you're in, because the labor shortage issue does not apply perhaps in the Middle East and Africa. And
even Egypt does not have what we are 110 million. What labor shortage are you talking about?
and also the cost differential between labor and automation, I guess from a return of investment perspective, probably doesn't tally up yet either. So great perspective, and I'll come back to you on that in a second. But it's probably a good time to bring in our second guest. So we have so Hani Al Saig is the general manager technology procurement at Saudi telecoms company STC, which is the biggest ICT company in the Middle East. He's an award-winning executive and manages an annual spend of approximately 10 to 15 billion Saudi riyals. Hani is a regular speaker on many industry forums and has won a multitude of awards and commendations for his achievements. Hani, welcome. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you for Supply Chain Talk. Really, thank you for this invitation. And really, I like just talk, no presentation, no PowerPoint. Thank you very much.
You're not the only one. We're with you on that. So great. Yeah, going back, I think we'll also give you the opportunity on the article, Hani, in the Financial Times, which again is talking about robotics playing a bigger part in the automation of specifically warehouse automation and technology. What's your view on that? Is that a trend that's going to take off, or what's your take on that? Being someone who procures a large amount of IT.
I think this is one of the good articles I wrote. I read about this subject, and this is showing how the automation. There is two parts. Let's say digital automation. And this is what we call digitalization, and most of the companies work on that since long time. RPA, robotic process automation. This is what you call it, digital automation. And second part maybe is the physical automation. And this is what this article talking about robots. Today we have the robot as a physical automation. This is two types of automation today, the digital and the physical. And most of companies today and most of the organizations worldwide, looking for digitalization, looking for automation to really help the organization to move forward, to go to have better revenue and better return of investment. But the 3 points really, I like it in this article. First one, the automation is not only return of investment. And this is really today to continue to have, but it's about continue the business. If you don't have it today, the automation, you maybe will lose your business today. It's not only about how can invest and return of this investment, how we can have more profit. No, to get your current profit, you need to have automated to have better customer satisfaction, better quality. This is the first point. The second point regarding interesting things, regarding there is 75% of the warehouse worldwide is not automated, and I think the robot will be the cheaper way to help these warehouses to automate it. And this big business today to have warehousing automation using the robot. And the last point for this article, most of the company don't know what they want to start, the priority today for digitalization, for automation. They need really to focus on what we need exactly for automate. Automate what? We cannot automate everything. We need to start to check what is the most impact, what's the quick win in the automation, and start small, then scale up. And as you see in the previous 1.5 years during this pandemic and coronavirus, the companies have better automation, they have better business continuity, and they are not impacted with this pandemic. They can continue their business. And we saw how this digitalization and automation help the organization, and COVID it's accelerate really this automation and digitalization. And we hear now about this new corona and these things. And the good thing that robot today and RBA, they don't need vaccine. They don't need also the pandemic. It's any pandemic, they will not prevent them to go and work 24 hours. And this is but what regarding this job loss, I don't think this will be job losing for the people. The people can have more opportunity for well-being, more opportunity for be more strategic, think in a strategic way, work in the work things and keep this repetitive things for the robot. This may be my feedback in this article.
It's an interesting take. Thanks, Hani. And I think you touched on a particular point which addressed a different part of the article, which is saying that actually, especially given the pandemic, technology is proving to be to give that competitive advantage to organizations. And that's interesting, and maybe a competitive advantage that they would not have otherwise. And secondly, it's provided a bit of business continuity. No one has to worry about having a jab or working 24/7. So it's an interesting point of view, and it talks about that human aspect that Wallah also mentioned as well. So I'll come back to that as well. But I'll take one of the questions that's come up, and the question we had, the first question we had, and I'll go to Wallah on this is. You may have answered a bit of this, but the question is: has the pandemic accelerated the uptake of automation, and also going into saying has labor shortages or increases in demand for e-commerce made any impact? And what do you do to counteract any deficit if there is an increase in demand? Do you think?
Okay, so let's take it piece by piece. First, hi Hani, because I didn't have time to say hi. كيفك?
Hi.
Look, the pandemic was like a slap on the face for everyone. The companies that was looking to automation and robotics and even improvement in their work processes, it was not under discussion. It was like always a delayed subject. It was always like, let's do it later. The sky's the limit. Guys, making development every day. Let's wait 2 years, the technology will become cheaper. Then at a certain point, most of the companies, even the shop next door and the burger joint next door, they was not on the delivery application, so they lost business. They are closed. They cannot get the rent. So at all levels, from the bigger companies to the smaller companies, it was a slap. Some people lost their jobs, some people lost their businesses, but for the big entities, it was a wake-up call. Number two is the e-commerce part. And here comes back again to what I said about the automation. Okay, e-commerce blasted. Companies started to make websites. There are many small developers that didn't have the opportunity before. You know, those people that is always coming to you on the email, we are having this platform, please, and we always ignore them. Those guys became the stars of the game. Yalla, everyone want to go to them. Because not every company can go for the big players. So you need the medium, the B+, the B- players. The problem is with all this e-commerce, what is the reflection in reality on the ground? Okay, we had our e-commerce website. We started putting our product on Amazon. I'm not talking about my company. I'm talking about all companies. Still, there is a poor guy who will pick something from the warehouse, put it in a car, then move around doing 100 PCR tests till his nose become bigger than his face. Yeah, yeah. You remember when we were doing PCR even to get to Abu Dhabi? Okay, okay. 100 of vaccination process. Some drivers was not able to drive for like 20 days because they are not vaccinated, so they cannot pass the border between my place and Hani place. Okay, I'm in UAE, he's in Saudi. Okay, or I go regularly to Bahrain because I have work in Bahrain. My vaccination, the Chinese one is working here in UAE, then and there for them I'm not vaccinated. Then to pass the border to Saudi, this is different, and I need to have 3 different applications because of the 3 different residency. Okay, yeah, you know, it's complicated on the ground. Yep, automation, websites, e-commerce. In reality, on the ground, when you give it to the poor guy at the end to deploy it, nothing is there. The pandemic just added for him extra work, and the e-commerce and all this added to him extra work. I always remove the title, remove the nice intro that you have done to me. Look to my CV and just slash everything from it. I have 3 jobs. I'm a planner, I'm a stockkeeper, I'm a delivery boy. Right? This is the supply chain at the end. Planner, stockkeeper, a delivery boy. Automation, e-commerce, all this, yeah, improve the life of the planner a little bit. Of course, with increase in demand and forecasting is hell these days because you do not know what's happening tomorrow. The stockkeeper, his life didn't change. Actually, he had to wear a mask, and now he's working for 8 hours on the ground, wearing a mask and a plastic shield, and 2 meters away from each other. It's difficult. Then the delivery boy, his life didn't change. His car didn't become automated in the morning. Nothing. Actually, his life became more tough. Okay. So the pandemic, how it affected us on an overall business, some businesses, of course, flourished and made huge leap to the future. Some businesses just exactly the same. I'm trying to focus on the fulfillment part because this is where the focus of the session. When it comes to fulfillment, nothing changed. You can see even when the Suez Canal blockage happened, the first action that everyone have done, let's switch the vessel to different route. Yeah, Habibi, wait, just wait. You will find that the excavator that was just cleaning it out. Okay, by the way, it is not one The photo is always showing one, but there were like 5. Those guys, it is not automated. It cannot be automated. It will not be automated. It will not. With all President Biden, if the Egyptian didn't solve it, we will come and solve it. Yes, how we will solve it? How you will solve it? Yes, how you will solve it? Tell me, please. Okay, because I was in the think tank that was operating this. But how? Yeah, yes. It will not never be solved by automation. There is no app will unblock the Suez Canal. Okay.
Interesting. I think that's a great one. I think there's a couple of points to bring forward there, and I think we do agree that maybe with some of the issues,
I can add some, if you allow me. I can add regarding
Go ahead, Annie.
what I was mentioning regarding infrastructure. Really, the infrastructure is very important today, and I think if I come from the telecom industry, the 5G today, it's helped really a lot with high speed and low latency. They help a lot of warehouses, a lot of industry, or about how can automate, how we use these robots today with this high speed and low latency. I saw many examples, many use cases for 5G to help the industrial to build the right infrastructure. But as I mentioned before, we need to have the priority. We need to know what we want exactly, what we need to automate. This is the most important, the planning. I like what he mentioned. He is a planner. This is the most important for supply chain, to have the right planning, to understand what you want exactly this year or the next 3 years and next 5 years. Then the technology will help you, the infrastructure will help you to build what you want. Maybe that's what I can add regarding infrastructure.
Oh, fantastic. And I was actually on that point of building the infrastructure or building the technology. I was going to then go to Ibrahim Bayumi's question, which is we're implementing a lot of technology here, technological solutions, and maybe overtaking the traditional people in warehouses and throughout the supply chain. But what's the alternative solution? What's the fallback plan? What happens when automation breaks down? Hani, do you want to address that?
You mean if we have this automation, what will happen with the people? You mean?
Actually, it's saying, what if, in the case that the automated system or robotics shut down due to any reason, what's the contingency? Are enough contingencies being built in for operations that are going totally automated or relying on robots?
Yeah, the redundancy. This is very important. I mean, I understand it. This is very important today. We go to the process today. Before automate anything, we need to review the process. What the process today we have, enhance this process, make it more simple, make it more effective, then automate this process. And always we have this backup system. We need to have really a redundancy plan. This is a part of the risk management, as a part of the risk we have. But technology, as I mentioned, the infrastructure, the redundancy of the infrastructure, this will help to have this business continuity.
Excellent. Thanks for that. And I'm going to go back to some more questions now. So there was one around sustainability. Okay. So I'll throw that to Walan. Obviously, Hani, you can comment as well. And the question from Trudy is saying that as a sustainability champion, is there some conflict with using automation, which potentially could create more energy use and waste? Any thoughts on that?
So I have, of course, thoughts, and I have as well proven examples on the ground. Okay, as I was talking about what DP World is doing, I believe nobody now is questioning the sustainability and the green and the usage of green energy and usage of renewable energy. Nobody. Okay, somebody was a president who was questioning it, but forget about him. Okay, everyone knows now that we need to generate electricity, simple like this. Okay, what is happening in China right now is trying to reduce the coal business. So I don't see any project that is happening on the ground right now that the sustainability is not part of the main 3-4 drivers. I will not say it is not the first driver, but it is at least in the top 3, which is the first question. I want to build a new warehouse, this is a continuous business. Everyone wants to build a warehouse for, okay, how the ceiling the ceiling will be all solar panels. This is like question number one. And I'm not talking about, okay, we are blessed that we are in, I would call it a rich region. The Arab Peninsula is a rich region. But if you look at India, if you look to Egypt, if you look to Nigeria, okay, if you look to Morocco, if you look to South Africa, because I'm connected with the people working on this in many projects of this. Everyone is looking into sustainable power source, number one, because by design, what you will do right now in the infrastructure will reduce for you the running costs tomorrow. This is one. So I would say it is part environmental, but the main driver for the sustainability is the financial part. Number two, for the running business already and changing the model. Now I have electricity, I want to move to something else. Now I have look to the amount of automation in the fulfillment part. Now the vehicles, the trucks, most of the truck, I will not say developers, the trucking industry, creating new trucks, you will find it that it is looking to the food carbon print, a reduction of fuel consumption, moving more to electrical car or self-renewable car energy. Okay, I'm not talking about Tesla only. I'm talking about Volvo trucks. I'm talking about Mercedes trucks. They are all going to the hybrid mode. And this by itself, the forklifts now, I would say 10 years back when you were asking about, guys, do you have like an electric forklift that can carry 7 tons, 20 tons, those heavy, because the small ones was always there, but the heavy load that can I can plug it and just charge it with a green energy. 7-10 years back, this was like, yeah, I believe we have one piece demo somewhere. Now this is part of the purchases offer all the time, which we have this, we have that, we have that, we have that. This is the running cost, this is the return of investment. Okay. And then you will find that the companies, yeah, this is better for us, and it is increasing our sustainability mission as well, especially that the media is supporting the industry by the media kicking you if you are not sustainable. Okay, it is pushing you forward to be more sustainable. This I like it a lot. And by
And
the
I
way,
think
this is all green energy.
we noticed that, and we believe you on that. Well, I know, and it's a good point you made about the media. I think the media is reflecting the thoughts of the general public, perhaps. Hani, did you have any comments
Yes,
on that point
yeah,
as
I
well?
think this is a question. I think my answer is there is no conflict between automation and the energy consumption. Because today, if we talk about greenhouse gases, GHG, scope 3 emission, this we can work together with our partner to have this robot have renewable energy, as Wala mentioned. We can design this robot to have low emission, carbon emission. There is a lot of people. The good things now, each organization committed for net zero by 2050, 2040, 2060, as announced in Saudi Arabia, also the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to have net zero by 2060. And this is the good things here. Any organization and their partner have same target. Today, in any organization, if you talk about your partner about sustainability, how we can have product with low emission, GHG emission, they have mutual target and they work together to achieve this target. My answer, there is no conflict. This will be help the organization without any conflict.
Great, thanks, Hani, for your points. And I'm going to go into a couple of questions now. There's one from Ricky Jassel, who is now talking about your thoughts on automation. I'll go to Hani first on this. Your thoughts on automation benefiting the workforce. So there's a lot of automation going on at the moment, but there is still a workforce. Thank God, as Wala said. So there is still a workforce now. With the automation that's being brought in alongside the workforce, is this benefiting them in terms of better health and safety, continuous workflow, and better employee well-being? What do you think, Hani?
I think this is will help a lot to workforce and will help a lot of our team in this area. First one point regarding we will have less repetitive work. They will focus more on the strategic and valuable work. They will increase their motivation today because they have more tasks to do. Second thing, as mentioned in the article also, the heavier and more dangerous work will be now be done by robots, and the people will be more safe and will be more easy work for them, and this will be better for the employee health. Also, we need the human focus on the human tasks today. They can do a lot of things and they can help without any dangerous, without any heavy work for them, especially in the warehouses work. I don't think this will help a lot the workforce. That's my point.
And voila, your perspectives on that. So notwithstanding the fact that there probably is a kind of health and safety or mental health consideration to people who are losing their jobs to automation, but to those, as you mentioned before, but to those who remain, is there a positive well-being angle to this?
No, sure. And by the way, even the people who will be losing the job, I'm not saying automation will make the people lose job. I'm saying that there is a certain category of people, like exactly what Hani was saying. Uh, Someone who's carrying a box that is 25 kg. His only job is to move a 25 kg all day. Number one, sustainability of the process itself. Of course, when he's coming on the morning, he's good. He's doing maybe 10 boxes per hour. Then it is 9, 8. By the end of the shift, if he's carrying 3 boxes, this is like good. And this poor guy will lose his health after a while. So 100% I'm with automating of this job. And imagine the same exact guy will have, because this is available in the industry that I'm in right now, that he have not a full robot. It is just a hydraulic robot, semi-robot, that he's operating by his hand. So he's picking the box from here to there by the robot. Okay. So the robot is doing the dangerous, as Hani was saying, the heavy lifting. Okay. So this guy, his performance increased from 10 boxes per hour to 20 to 30 boxes per hour. Okay. And then after a while of doing the job, if we can make an algorithm that instead of he need to operate it, and it will be automatically operation, this guy can be the technician who's fixing this robot, can be the guy who's making the algorithm for this robot, can be the guy who is doing different job. Okay. Remember when couple of years back when we said the whole digitization, the people did what? They scanned the paper document, make it PDF, and send it to you on the email. Habibi, this is not digitization. You just made the same exact paper. Okay. And you just scan it. You added more job for yourself. Then when you start talking with them, no, guys, there is e-form. And here I would say the companies like STC, okay, I've been working with STC, 10 years now at least. I'm always the customer. Say STC, Saudi, Viva, Bahrain, okay. The amount of digital solution that he's providing, from the form that before that you need to go to the store to get a SIM card, 100 forms to be signed up. Now there is a display, couple of touches, you put your ID, they scan it, maybe scan the passport as well. Okay. No verification. The verification is done digitally. Why lose a person time and effort for this job? So for sure, yes, some people will lose their job, but the majority will upgrade their jobs. Okay. I believe this is good for us. Just we need to, while we are doing the shift, we need to focus on the people that will lose their jobs. You upgrade their trainings, you upgrade their behaviors, or switch them to other place that is still not automated.
Great. Well, that's some good points there, and sounds really positive. I think certainly the health and safety and well-being angle is an interesting new differentiator. Did you want to jump in there, Hani?
Yeah, I need to update Walad. There is no more machine now. You can get your SIM card within 20 minutes anywhere in Saudi Arabia by only requested and the
Well, I
verification
took my Pfizer shot
by
to get to
OTP.
go to Saudi to go to Saudi Arabia. I just got my Pfizer shot to get to Saudi Arabia because what since 2003 I'm going to Saudi Arabia at least once per month. Okay, and I lived in Saudi Arabia a couple of years, and then because of this pandemic, I didn't go to Saudi Arabia for the past year and a half.
But there you go. But if you go now, the SIM card is waiting for you within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Courtesy
And
of
also,
Hani.
the new update in Saudi Arabia, also the visa. You can get the visa within half an hour.
Well,
And
send me the invitation in.
and there's technology in action. So let me go to the next point actually, and just as we run out of time. And I'll put this to Hani, and it's a general question. Are there any other areas of procurement or supply chain in general where technology can be a real differentiator and has proved to be?
Yeah, I think the procurement, we can use this also, the automation and RBA. Let's talk about not physical automation. We can talk about digital automation, the RBA. And you want to, based on my experience, we implement this is the RBA, robotic process automation. They simplify our work. They will have more quality with less error. And this is the beauty of the automation. You can do what you can do it in the hours. You can do it in minutes now with no errors, with 24 by 7, with no vacation, no break for lunch. This is really the beauty of the automation. And the procurement process, as you mentioned, this is from receive the BO until issue the from receive the BR until issue the BO. This can be fully digital automation using the RBA, and this is something implemented and tested.
Fantastic. And going on to you, Wallah, I mean, something that Hani alluded to, and he picked it out from the article earlier, was that despite everything we're saying, 3/4 or 75% of warehouses globally currently have no automation whatsoever. So my question to you is, what does the warehouse of the future look like? Does it look more like what it looks like today? And is there a slow adoption? Or is there going to be a real step change, probably kickstarted by the pandemic?
So number one, I would say 75% is even very nice percentage. I believe 90% of the warehouse does not have this. Okay. Because again of the different business models, different organization levels, and even you will find in the same multinational companies, okay, they are working with maybe in US and UK with SAP, okay, for the past 20 years, and they just deployed SAP last year in their branch in Middle East. So imagine if they are not putting the software, do you imagine that they will have automation in the warehouse? And I can tell you, I just don't want to mention companies, but they know themselves well. Okay. 100 companies have in different branches, different technology. One of the things is the licenses, of course, like Procter & Gamble, when they are doing something specifically for Amazon, for US, there is a license, there is an agreement that this will happen in US, and the places that Amazon is operating in different places of the world. So you cannot expect that P&G will have across the 180 countries they are operating in to have the same that they are doing with Amazon. So this is number one. Number two is my job, my supply chain job need a dreamer all the time. Yes, it need your feet on the ground, but sky is the limit. Like every time, like Hani was saying, you need to look to the job and say, this job is critical to me. I don't want a human mistake. I don't want a human error. This is a repetitive job. Okay. Like something like simple, like the gate pass to pass the gate of the truck to pass inside the factory. Why you need a paper gate pass? This is question number one. I'm telling every supply chain professional right now, and who will see this maybe 10 years from now, will see the same video. Ask yourself, do you have a paper gate pass or an automated gate pass? This is number one automation for yourself. Let's count how many times we, while passing any place, We need to have a piece of paper and show it to some poor guy. Once you will eliminate this, you will have more automation. Where it will go, just my passion that we shouldn't have another pandemic to have a slap on the face to change. We need to have this in our agenda all the time. For the supply chain professional, move around, guys. Walk around your workspace and see, yeah, I can automate this Excel sheet. By the way, even the Excel sheet is not automation. It is manual entry. Okay. If you are taking data from SAP and Oracle, putting it on Excel sheet, it is manual entry. Okay. So I want to automate this report. I want to automate this. I want to make the people and put target for yourself. I want the people not to reduce the people. I want them to go home early. I want to reduce the typo mistakes. Things like this. Warehouses specifically, I believe it needs another 20 years when we start having more self-driving cars options. First, in the ports itself, because this is like a controlled environment inside the warehouses. More robotics for the inventory count, one of the most wasted time in all the globe. The inventory count for the warehouses. Now, there is drones, there is scanning, there is all this, because it is really a routine job, like Hani is saying. And this, you cannot have a human mistake in it. Inventory count shouldn't have a human mistake. Okay. Those ones. But it's a journey of at least 20 years. I hope that in my lifetime, I see better operated warehouses.
And do you think, well, I mean, you've worked with a number of multinationals, and the interesting thing about, or the feature of multinationals is that they do exactly that. They work in different countries or regions around the world. Do they operate differently in different regions? So your P&G and Kimberly Clark, so they work differently in terms of warehouse automation depending on where they are in the world.
Okay, let's split the word work to two things. Number one is the ethics and behavior. It does not change across the globe. Okay, so there is no person in US working 8 hours and the guy in Middle East is working 16. Nothing. Okay. Of course, you appreciate the company ethics itself and the laws of the place, the labor laws. Then the operational perspective change from country to country. Okay. Today, we are in UAE today. There is the National Day. But the National Day in UAE is at the same exact time of the Black Friday, White Friday week, and. Okay. While Black Friday finished in US. So for their operating strategy, for them, the warehouse they will take all the orders and they will deliver in the next 2-3 days in Amazon US. Okay. But here, Amazon's still delivering. My guys are still working. I'm still
But do they use it? But do the two warehouses use the same technology or not?
Technology-wise, they will use the same SAP. But of course, robotics will be installed more in the European Union and the US more than any region else, because the labor. Okay, I'll tell you one famous example. There is in all the industrial facilities, you will find silos that have the chemicals in it, and you will find that the truck coming in, the material get blown in the silos. You touch, and maybe just the driver will plug in and plug out, and that's all. Maybe, and one technician and safety guy to monitor. You will find in all Middle East and Africa, silos is not the normal perspective. Why? Because the return of investment of building a silo for $10 million, okay, does not justify that the same gangs, okay, that will work, we call it gang, a forklifter and a helper and all this, it's a gang. This 5 people gang, their salary for the next 100 years is not those millions. So
I think that,
to get them.
Yeah, and I think that's the point I was trying to get to. Well, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. There is a different return on investment, and therefore the technologies they use or the solutions they use, regardless of the company, may well change from region to region. And unfortunately, we've really, just looking at the time, we've just run out of time. We just hit the nail on the head. Thank you so much to the panel. I'd like to, at this point, just to announce we do have a Supply Chain Talks mug handed out every week to people who have submitted some good questions. So last week's winner was Peter Tatton, and this week's winner is Ibrahim Bayumi. So the Supply Chain Talks team will make sure they post over your Supply Chain Talks mug or cup to you as soon as possible. Not sure who it's manufactured by. Not sure whether Rack Ceramics make these mugs.
Should be, man. It should be.
But we'll check. But certainly, Wallah Maha and Hani Saik, thank you so much for being on the panel this week. It's been a great session, and also to the audience, some great questions, some great chat. See you again for the next Supply Chain Talks next week. Take care and have a great evening. Good night.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Henny.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, and we hope we have this face to face shortly.
Indeed. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.